Okay, mic check, mic check, mic check. Should be able to hear, see all that. Good morning, Mr. Blue here. TradePhantoms.com. Spent about an hour plus with y'all, give or take. Let's see, today's date. Had to reboot the whole kind of restream thing here, so a couple minutes after starting time. Hopefully everybody's good with that. Today, Thursday, 22nd of May, 2025. Mr. Blue from TradePhantoms.com here. Let's dive right in, right? Let's see. Live trading here. We did have news today. This week has been fairly quiet in terms of planned economic news. However, today being Thursday, we did have, at least in regard to the U.S., we did have unemployment claims just come out. Okay. Not much of a difference there, but we're going to see how the price action responds to that anyways, right? So the markets did take a drop down from that initially. We'll go to the charts in a moment. Kind of recovered a little bit there. I got some puts on from yesterday, so we'll see how that opens up. I mentioned that to the team. Noteworthy, however, I will say 9:45 a.m. Eastern, which is 15 minutes after the open, we do have flash manufacturing PMI and services. Okay, so that could potentially affect, the open, right? After the opening day's range kind of takes hold. We got some news coming out, so we have to be aware of that. Okay, tomorrow being Friday, nothing new home sales 10 a.m. Eastern for that, but that's tomorrow, right? So we do have to, of course, today 10 a.m. existing home sales too as well. Skipped over that. So just know that 15 minutes after the open, we do have some kind of catalyst news there for today. All right, let's go into the charts. I guess I'll bring this up as people kind of scramble in here. I'll bring this up. I bring this up every morning here, especially for the new folks. But if you're visiting the channel, what have you? Mic check. Can y'all hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Can't hear you. Can y'all hear? All right, just making sure. Okay, cool. Multiple time frame analysis, top-down approach. Okay, monthly, weekly, daily. Orange is color-coded for monthly. So anything you see in orange has to do with monthly. Weekly is yellow color code. Daily is going to be blue. Okay. Candlestick formations, a bunch of fancy names. Great. Location being most important. How to execute off of them as well, most important. Bearish candlesticks, great. A lot of fancy names. Location and how to execute off of them are going to be most important. Okay. Liquidity map. Usually just park this over here to the left. I bring this up all the time. Reference this. Okay. If you know what you're looking at here, you got it, and then you just got to execute it. Okay, putting all the pieces together in terms of multiple time frame analysis. I will go over into futures right now. So let's go into the major for indexes here. All right, so I got the I got the S&P futures upper left. NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones lower left, Russell 2000 bottom right. Everything on the daily time frame, at least for right now, right here. So if I kind of zoom in here, obviously, here's today, right now. Futures were down a bit more. Right now, it's fairly flat. Down 0.10%. Nothing too crazy for the S&Ps. They were down a little bit more early this morning. Okay, Eastern time, 8:55 right now. But if I were to just bring your attention to really quickly, just yesterday, right? We had a nice little move up. We were having bear traps. Bear traps. Grind up. Yesterday was kind of an inside day, and we with Monday's high and Monday's low. Okay, and then yesterday we had a nice little drop. Okay, nice little drop. The team, I don't want to go backwards, but the team's kind of on this yesterday, right? I'll just move forward, but we actually had a couple things planned in the event that it did drop. Okay, so some folks kind of caught that. Grabbed some puts yesterday, so I do have a couple of those on still. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, but definitely want to map out yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Okay, now if I look down and left, so far the S&P futures low Globex, which we will cover in a moment, 58.28 down in here. I mentioned that this could be a bit of a liquidity sweep. So as you can see, we kind of did that right last night or early morning, I should say. Kind of swiped down here and kind of just rebounced right back up into the open, right? So anyways, if I look down and left, the next level lower, I got 58.20. Okay, right down in here, and I got the 58.05, and it looks like I have a note here for a liquidity sweep. So I'm sure there might be a bit of a rally-based rally right in here, where a level is right below here. So you might want to map that out. And for the 58.05, below that, I would say for a liquidity sweep, that would be more clear in the event that we, or when I get down into the smaller time frame, being the 1 hour time frame. Okay. But yeah, if we do kind of rally back up, okay, we'll see. Obviously, we're still in this, this move up, right? We're still in this. So, albeit we had a down move yesterday, okay. But stay. I would say, stay disciplined, okay. Don't get too crazy with this, thinking that this market's just going to crash. We're going to get the 20-period moving average right here. We're still trading above that. Okay, we get some demand lower as well. Okay. I'm not sure if it's going to happen today, especially given the fact that if you kind of know anything about gamma and market maker exposure, we do have a positive gamma node down in here. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to swipe all the way down into this gap fill on the S&P futures, but that comes in at 56.84. But you still want to put that on your radar for at some point in the event that we do kind of slam lower. Okay, but we have plenty of levels that we need to kind of absorb in terms of demand supply, in this case demand, in order to get down into this area down here, right, on that gap fill. Okay, so we have a couple levels here, and also I would reference even this level right here, which is what is it, May 12th low. Okay, so it's kind of like a random May 12th low. I think that's Monday. It's also a weekly low. Okay, because that's the Monday, the gap up from the Trump and China kind of 90-day pause tariff kind of, I'm going to say deal, but kind of truce, right? The little pause there, right? For both U.S. and China there. Okay, so that's that gap up there. But yeah, I'll drop down to the small time frames, and when I map up the Globex high and low, we'll see. We do have a little bit of a supply that got dropped, that got dumped on to the market yesterday. So when I drop down to the 1 hour time frame, you'll see a drop-based drop, which I have a highlight in a moment. I already have it highlighted on one of my other accounts over here. But I saved this one for the visuals for you folks here. NASDAQ futures, daily time frame. Excuse me, hold on. Okay, NASDAQ futures here. Actually, they're actually slightly positive right now, 0.13%, nothing too crazy. Okay, had a couple levels. I even mapped this out, even overnight, excuse me, apologies. 21,050, right? 21,050. We had that level right there, rally-based rally. Dipped in there overnight, okay? It bounced off of that. So if anybody took that, so it's working out pretty decent right there. Okay. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. We'll drop down to the small time frames in a moment. Every Monday we kind of do a prep session, and I kind of go over the longer time frame, the higher time frame, I should say, monthly, weeklies, monthly time frame, weekly time frame, so on and so forth. So so far this week we swiped last week's high. I got QQQs right now. I went to NASDAQ futures now and Qs. Right, we swiped last week's high, okay, which we always reference, and so far we're off of that, right? I did mention that we did have a pro gap down, okay, pro gap down. I definitely want to, I touched upon it with the group so far, earlier in the week, okay, mentioned that to the group with Phantoms, okay, so that's definitely noteworthy. So this is why I've been getting a little bit more, I would say, puts, right? I've been buying some puts here and there. Now I've been getting long as well intraday. Okay, yesterday took a long, right, and then ended up having to get short. Okay, and then I've been working on some June puts I've been taking profit, but adding into it as well. So it's kind of hard to explain just real quick on just really quickly explaining it. But a lot of that is due to the belt hold up, gap down. Okay, and then we had a belt hold on Monday, and then gap down inside bar break yesterday. So I need more time to explain that. But that's if you know, you know, right? So yesterday's high, yesterday's low. We'll reference that. Now, if we do come lower on the Nasdaq futures, switch over back into the Nasdaq futures one daily time frame here, 20,890 down here. There's an basic impulse right in here. That would be the next level lower in the event that we do swipe lower. I would also reference, I'm not even sure why I don't have this level mapped out right there on that daily low, but there is a daily low right there, of course, that could be a bit of a liquidity sweep right in there as well. All right, so I will switch over into the small time frames right now. Mr. Blue, nice to meet you. I haven't got a chance to meet you. Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. On Instagram. Yes. All right, cool. So I got monthly here on the left, weekly in the middle, daily, monthly, weekly, daily. All right. So we're starting to get some. I'll give you a little quick, on YouTube and a little quick freebie here, right? No, well, I don't even need to say that freebie. What does that mean? So we get a belt hold here, inside bar setup. Okay, so wide range bar. Okay, coming into supply. I will say that I did make a note on this day, 5/19, which is what on Monday. On Monday, I will say, retail traders bought $4.1 billion of stock and equities, record breaking up here. Okay, so retail traders are typically wrong and late. Okay, so that also gave me a clue. Okay, that this market was okay. Calm down a little bit now, right? So amongst other things, right? We map out levels and things like that. But typically, retail traders, I gladly love to go against them. So once I see that on Monday that retail traders literally came in with $4.1 billion of buying stock, I'm like, okay, potential top being put, at least temporary top being put in. Okay, so we had an inside bar the next day being Tuesday, and then Wednesday finally, we had what's called a negative GEX pocket. It's more advanced. Okay, but we were kind of on this. Okay, kind of sifting this out. Okay, so now we have a nice drop. Okay, the question is, okay, how far? And we're getting some continuation today. This could just be a digestion day too. It wasn't like a massive drop. Okay, let's put that into perspective. Okay, but we finally did break this mother bar, right? So daily time frame here, high, low, inside bar the prior day, and so we did kind of break that mother bar. Okay, this is what's called a harami inside bar. Okay, right there, inside bar. This is the mother bar. So we did break that. Okay, reference point. We got that 20 period moving average right here on the daily. We got that 200 period moving average right here as well. There goes that gap fill that I was talking about in futures, and that's also in SPY, as you can see right over here up to the left. Okay, so pretty interesting formation. Actually, I should be putting this like this for more kind of like supply. Now it's not like an evening star, right? Right here, evening star, whatever, small doji bar, but this is more of an inside bar. Okay, evening star would be like up here, but this is inside bar, on the bar break, lower. Okay, whatever. There you go. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So I'll get back to the program here. Get the S&P futures, 60-minute time frame upper left, 30-minute time frame bottom left, 5-minute here, 2-minute here on the right. Pop up in the 60-minute time frame here. How do you chart options used demand supply? Monthly, weekly, daily, everything, all time frames. Monthly, weekly, daily, top down approach, and then I'm going to the I'm going to the intermediate kind of 1 hour time frame, 30-minute, 5-minute, 2-minute. Okay, so I always get that question like, hey, what time frame do you use? All of them. All right, monthly time frame is my favorite time frame because institutions accumulate, distribute, and liquidity sweep off of those higher time frames there. So right now we're seeing a 1 hour time frame of the S&P futures. One of the first things we do, map out the Globex low, which is right here. Globex high, overnight high, right here. I think there's some kind of gray stat space out there. As you can see, we had a nice little drop yesterday. Okay, this, excuse me, hold on. Come on, man. Okay, back. So we had a couple levels here, right? Finally, this level kind of gave out, right? So we had, if I go back, yesterday's drop, okay, we had this level 5,900 that we were working off of, and even in the SPX yesterday, right? So just could not break, could not break, could not break. We had a little bit of a rally yesterday, really briefly, okay. And I even mentioned on Monday, we have kind of have like a podcast at Phantoms. It's kind of we just have some fun with it, nothing too crazy, right? Not famous or anything like that, but I was mentioning how this week I'm going into this week, being very cautious on any rallies that we get to kind of set up some, be careful with these rallies that we get to set up some bull traps. Okay, so yesterday I was very cautious on that move up in the morning. Okay, ended up getting long. Okay, but traded that very kind of aggressively. Put stops to break even, and we were planning this kind of level to where what's called positive gamma up here. Okay, on the SPX 5940. So the team was on it. Shout out Montu. Montu's in here right now. Montu is a respected Phantom member officially, and he came up with a trade. He came up with a thesis, and it worked out amazing. Okay, we have what's called a negative gas pocket, and I even have the notes from yesterday. Not too crazy. I don't want to get too crazy here. Okay, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that because I'm gonna tie it in and segue it into what we're talking about even here today is that be careful with the rallies up. Okay, so I turned into more of a rally up, sell rallies, right? Sell rallies, trap bulls. Okay, so yesterday we had this red box right here. I kept the notes here. When we opened yesterday, we had this negative gaps pocket right down here. So as we rallied up, we came into supply gap fill up here. Okay, and the team's kind of working on let's see if we can figure out to get some like long puts in the event that this market does fill this negative gaps pocket down here. And boy, did it do that. Okay, so so awesome, pretty interesting there. So if you're tuned in with Phantoms, okay, I was mentioning even on Monday morning before the market even opened, okay, we're on the on the little podcast there that I was on these rallies up. Be careful because we could start to trap some bulls. Okay, trap some bulls, bull traps, and fade and slap downs. Okay, now I'm not saying that's going to happen again today. Okay, but of course, be courteous of that. So if I do map out the Globex high in the Globex low, which I just did right there. All right, and by the way, these levels we took some bounces off here, right? These are the previous levels. This one got smashed, 5,900. Okay, which I wasn't looking to get long off of that. Late day yesterday, right? I was more riding those puts as VIX spiked. Okay, we did come down into this area here. A couple of team members caught this too. Santo, another respected member. There's a little bit of a bounce out of here. Okay, then we came into the 58.55. We had a level down here overnight, kind of stopped, parked right there, rallied back up. Just not rally, but just kind of a based, bounced up, base. That's where we're at right now. Swiped lower, came down into this liquidity sweep, which we also have planned as well. 58.34, right below that level. Okay, classic. Okay, so it stopped like right in here, just swept right below that little daily low right there. And that's where right now we do have this level right below, as I mentioned before, 58.20, 58.05. And I would also say, be careful. This market's swiping right lower, so I would not suggest to put your stop loss right below that level. This could also be another quick little liquidity sweep. Okay, we also have another even number right down here too, 5,800, call it, right below there. Okay, so I don't have enough time right now. We've got 20 minutes before the open to explain liquidity. Okay, but liquidity sweeping. But there could be one right here at that 5,800 level. Right below it. Okay, right below that level. Also below a daily, wouldn't be a daily low, but it's a level. Okay. All right, cool. So Globex bearish trap higher. Well, we have that supply zone here. That's kind of basic right up here, very simple. So that's kind of easy where the drop really happened yesterday. Really kicked off. All right, super obvious. But I'm going to drop down on the smaller time frame, even smaller time frame. You have to be careful with this when you do this. But I'm going to drop down into the 30. And one of the things now is, okay, great. We have this level of demand, right? That was put in, and it broke. It broke, right? And so this was also the Monday low, okay, which was holding the mother bar high, mother bar low for every day this week until yesterday, where we finally broke that. So the point that I'm trying to make here real quick is right above this Globex high. Okay, did the market leave some kind of a supply area above that we can look for? It's called a flip zone for what's called a G trap short now, and the answer would be yes, right? The answer would be yes. So we can reference that 5,900 on the S&P futures. See that little high right there? Okay. Again, liquidity sweep. I'm always training my traders to think about liquidity sweeping. So this little high right there, okay, after the big drop, we had a bounce. We came in as demand level, we had a bounce, okay. This is where I started to leg into some more puts, even for the swing, for a little more of a swing move, okay. But this was the last high after the drop. We had the bounce, okay, then we had a new drop right here, right? So long story short, short story long, 5907, call it 08. This is something that you might want to reference, where there could be just a nice little bull trap, okay. It would be what's called a Globex trap. So this could be bearish. All right, so put it this way. If you're new kind of on the YouTube, just kind of visiting, you ever have a level, you put a stop loss on your level, right above or below an area, in this particular case, right above a level, you get stopped out by a tick or two, by a point or two, and the market moves in your favor, where you thought it was, where your thesis was going to go? Yes, that happens a lot, right? And especially in futures. So I would almost say put your entry up here for a G-trap short. Okay, that comes in at about 5908. All right, now I have these levels of demand over here. I'm just going to kind of switch these to red. Well, that's already kind of red / pinkish. So to see how this market reacts and responds into the flip area. All right. All right, so interesting here, right above that Globex high. Okay. NASDAQ futures. Globex low. So you can see, we swiped, right? Came down into the 21,050, right? Overnight, bounced off of that. That level's been parked there for quite some time now. If you go to any recording, you'll see that. Whatever, who cares? Hopefully, you'll took advantage of some of that. Took a little bounce off there. There's the Globex low. Okay, Globex high. Level lower below Globex low. We're talking NASDAQ futures here, 20,890. Okay, there's a nice little demand zone right there. Developed overnight, so I want to be a little bit careful with that. Also have a reference point, this 20,813, that pink level right there. This is going to be a potential liquidity sweep. Now, here's the thing. Right below that level, right below that level, call it 20,813-ish, give or take 815, there's another level of demand right down in here below that. So I would definitely mark off the 20,785. All right, write that down. Okay, 20,785 NASDAQ futures. Okay, in the event that we snap this 21,050, okay, we come lower. This is not, okay, everybody sees this demand zone right there, right? Okay, kind of obvious, developed overnight. Okay, overnight session. Okay, less reliable, still noteworthy, of course. Okay, of course I have that referenced. Okay, but we could swipe below that level. Okay, and there's another level that is developed during the regular trading hours right below that. So 20,785 would be a nice G trap. Okay, this one would be, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. Okay, don't take it out of context. Okay, but I'll put an asterisk here, which is a little bit more aggressive. Now that level is nice because it moved so, I would say, fast, up of the level. This level right here, referencing the 20,898. Here's current price, right? But especially something like the Nasdaq, if this, if we get enough, yesterday, kind of reminded us that, hey man, when this market wants to go and spike lower, it can spike lower, right? It can spike lower really fast. Okay, it could, that escalated quickly, right? So if we get another escalation quickly, okay, just reference that 20,785 level right below there. Okay, with that little bit of liquidity sweep. That's also a daily low. Okay, so I train my traders to understand those daily lows, daily highs, sweeps, so on and so forth. All right, now above current price, above the global tie, similarly to what I was mentioning into the S&Ps. Well, here's a global tie. So this level right in here, or I should just say, kind of like line point here. It's kind of ugly looking on the 30-minute time frame, but definitely would reference this level right here. Call it 21,330 rounding. Could be used for a G-trap short. And we talk about the Globex traps exclusively hours and hours in the we call focus classes at Phantoms here. All right, and of course, I'd be remiss not to just look at that kind of obvious level from yesterday with that drop. Right. All right, these kind of like flip zones here. It's not the greatest one. I could probably just clean this up here, right? It was a little rally-based rally in here. Dip. Okay, great. Swipe. So I just kind of clean things up a little bit here, right? Just a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, cool. Markets rebalanced out, basically flat on futures right now, right? Swipe down, news, come back up. So be patient here. All right, gold futures. Man, we got 11 minutes for monthly, weekly, daily here. The team's been on this greatly. So I know it's kind of ugly here, the monthly here, the weekly, all these lines everywhere. I'll keep it short and sweet, but, I was kind of hoping that, if gold was going to drop, come down here, right? We talked about that. But, impulse, basic impulse, this level right here, touch, right? This demand zone, touch once, rally, failed, make a new high, came back down. I'd mentioned watch out for this liquidity sweep right here. We got an inside bar fakey breaky, mother bar break. So, I'm talking fast, but if you know, you know. So, gold, overnight made a nice little new high. Last night the team was, in the chat taking some profit. All right, I got some GLD. I got a diagonal option spread on GLD. I got a couple of micros on futures as well. Just got long. I mean, right? I had to on the mother bar break. I even got late. Some of the Phantom members have way better entries than even myself. So great. I always want them to be better than myself. So I care more about them than I care myself. But yeah, man, the team's doing well on this. Right now, as it stands, gold futures are flat, but we came off this new high. Of course, we had some supply up here, target areas already mapped out. Here's the notes, right? So we filled that gap. Plenty of folks had time to kind of get long on this. The teams have been working on it. So yeah, we'll see. We get to 20K moving average. So there's nothing here really. We'll see how this goes. If I can drop down to small time frames, map out the Globex high, Globex low. What's kind of freaky about this is yesterday's Globex low was 32.82, and right now today the Globex low is literally the exact Globex low from yesterday. Kind of freaky with that demand zone right lower. I know this guy, Money Mike. We got a guy named Money Mike that is a well-respected Phantom member. Had a limit order down in here with I had one too. I just missed it by a little bit, right, to get long. But that came down in that demand zone right there. That is actually the Globex low. Okay, so if we were to even break that Globex low, in the event that gold did come lower, there's going to be a retest level right here from the mother bar break. And this could also be a G-trap long today. In the event that gold, swipes a bit more lower down here, 32.56. But as you can see, we kind of dropped down into this level right in here. Okay, and this is the 1 hour time frame, right? So we have a nice little bounce off of that. Now we are below this what's called a daily VWAP, that white dashed line right there. So we would need to kind of reclaim that right inside bar on the 60-minute time frame so far. We need to see if we can kind of reclaim that. So gold can potentially punch higher, okay? But what if it goes lower? What's your plan, right? What's your plan? So we have a Globex trap. We can get deeper into this level right down here, okay? And or this retest level right here. And of course, I'd be remiss not to reference a couple of these levels down here, in addition to everything previously mentioned. All right, 32.20 handle. Wow, 7 minutes before open. I gotta start these YouTube sessions earlier. What's going on, Carlos? All right, I'm going straight to the VIX. Two to 34. Of course, I didn't take. Man, Mark, yesterday, man, it's yesterday. Shout out Montu. I missed a order by 5 cents. Went to go make a sandwich. I don't even really eat that much like during trading hours. I was like, this market's so boring, right? Yesterday, went to go make a sandwich. I left I put a 50-cent limit order in on those puts that we were looking at yesterday. Shout out to Montu. We were talking about it. I missed it by 5 cents. I come back, things already printing like $12. Immediately just bought SPY puts. Immediately. I just immediately bought SPY puts once I saw negative gaps. But I'm still thinking about that. 5 cents difference. Crazy. Stepped away from my desk just for a little bit, just to go literally make a quick little sandwich. I didn't even put mayonnaise on it. I just put a couple of pieces of cheese and ham on some bread, right? Nothing, right? With some water, right? Like a peasant. And I come back to my desk and I literally, what just happened, right? And I'm like, oh my God, the whole plan that we just developed during that late session in the live yesterday unraveled amazingly. So I missed probably thousands of dollars by $5 per contract. So man, that was crazy. Now I did snag some, of course. Now not SPX like that, right? So I'm still last night I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I even put a whole video. It was crazy. So man, it happens. It sucks, man. But right when you're like, all right, this market's a little boring. I can go maybe go do a little something here real quick. Step away. Boom. Market just moves. Right. That was a very expensive ham and cheese sandwich. That's for sure. All right, I didn't take a loss or anything, but it's like I missed that by and it's crazy because we got Montu in here, and he's the one that kind of made us kind of like really dive into that setup there. All right, all good. It happens. Just gotta keep it moving. Unfortunately, today, if you know about options depth, I'll get to that right now. I said I was going to go to VIX. VIX was up a little bit more. Now VIX is up. Okay, VIX was up a little bit more this morning. VIX up, market down. VIX down, market up. Inverse correlation. Yeah, that's why sometimes, over the past couple of weeks, I've been, missing a couple trades here by like 5, 10, 15 cents on options premium. So sometimes it's just not worth it. Sometimes just hit market. If you got a setup, man, just get in, man. 5, 10, 15 cents, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. It happens. So I've been doing this a long time, right? Been trading for like 16 years. Man, how much time you have? I can tell you so many stories, right? We don't have time right now, but that won't be that's not the first time I missed an order like that with a massive trade. It won't be the last either, right? So, and then today you're like, oh, I'm just gonna buy market everything today, and then today's range and you get swiped up. So you just gotta stay disciplined, keep going, right? Stay disciplined, stick to the plan, all right. And I mentioned to the team, we were on it, right? We were on it. Don't get me wrong, I got some puts, right? So basically, but that was a killer. That was a killer trade. That's a life changing trade almost. Right? Account changing trade. Right? That could have set up your whole. That one trade right there could have set up your whole next 3 months. Go on vacation for the holiday over the weekend. Summer solstice. So we got SPX. Okay, we can go to SPYs real quick. Want to open in 2 minutes. I can't even get to the gaps. I think I got to start these YouTube sessions a little bit more earlier for sure. Slight gap down, nothing too crazy. It was looking a bit more juicier earlier this morning with the futures down. Now they kind of rebalance. Okay, so SPX is going to open up a little slightly down here. And the reason why I bring that up, if I look at the daily time frame here, okay, call it like 34 handle. And if I look down lower here, 50, 58, 34, give or take. This is what's called options depth. I will say the 30 handle, we do have a little bit of light GEX right here, a little bit of a TRO here. But if we go lower, we do have 5,800. There is what's called a positive gamma node right here. There's a darker blue here to keep it short and sweet. As we drop down into here, market makers don't have to buy into this level. So that comes in at about 5,800. So we do have a little bit of some space down in here. We were talking about 5,900 yesterday. So everything that we did yesterday is almost going to be very similar to today in regard to that 5,800, equivalently drawing the parallel to the 5,900 from yesterday. Okay. Now, just because we have that down here doesn't mean that we're going to get down here. Okay. But if we do, we have to be prepared for that 5,800 there. Okay, on SPX, and that's probably going to be at or around. Let's see. So this is going to be 5,800 is going to be basically like last week's low. Okay, so that's in SPYs. It's about here. Last week's low. Call it 577, 578. Okay, so it's a positive gamma node right down in here. All right. Market's about to open here real quick, and it's already open, so I did not have enough time to get through everything here. Google does have a breakaway gap right now. So I'm definitely going to have to start these sessions a bit earlier on YouTube. But then again, it's like YouTube is YouTube, and I'm going to keep the exclusive stuff in timing for the actual Phantoms members. No offense, anybody who's not a Phantom, but advanced declines up, positive, actually negative 1,000, but we'll keep track of that. That's the zero line there. Just going through some internals really briefly. All right, these puts, they were looking like they wanted to print very nicely. They're still looking good. I had given this to the team. The 570 June 6th 570 strike put. Even in this account, got in 380. I mentioned that you can get potentially in at 365, and you got an entry there. So these are profitable if you wanted to take some profit off of these this morning. Okay, if you want to take, I'm going to take a little off right now of these. I had mentioned this to the team. Okay. Full send. Okay. So if you wanted to scale out some of those puts, I mentioned these, pick these up at 365 yesterday. Even got in late on this little baby account right here at 381. They're still looking good. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. Fix kind of chilling here. Switch this over into the daily. The 2. Yeah, Harry Quinn. Google's doing some crazy stuff with AI. Like, everybody is these days, but Google's doing some stuff. They're doing some things there. X has Grok. Everybody has something these days now with AI, right? But Google's doing some interesting things. All right, trading view. My trading view is acting slow. Apologies for this. Coin. Let's see Tesla. All right, let's get cooking here. Man, MSTR, Bitcoin all-time high. So my team knows, never selling my Bitcoin here. So got that. MSTR looking decent, but we're gonna be careful with MSTR. The government's starting to come after them a little bit there. MSTR. Coin. Let's see. Wide range bar off open. Now Bitcoin's at all-time highs. We're gonna watch out for a little bit. It just says like exit distribution. XLM bearish. XLM breakdown here. XLM bearish. Just oil's getting not having a good time. Let's see, Amazon. Amazon got some relative weakness today. Some more trading view. Man, this restream software really slows down my computer. Now I know what Mr. Black was talking about here. If you want to squeak out some more puts there, you could do so, as I am here. All right, got these at like 360. But let me see if I can find something here for us today for the whole group. Microsoft, an outlier today. Slight pain gap up on shorts. Microsoft long call looking juicy. Hit it. Restream, man. Slows me down. Stay focused. Relax. But I like to be fast. Let's pick up. We can pick up potentially the 460. That's a 36 delta. If you want to go closer to at the money's here, 465. I'd be a little careful because SPY is a little heavy, right? This is a bullish trade, so you want to be careful here. So I'll go lower delta as I'm speaking. This thing already kind of popped up a little bit here. Okay. So Microsoft long call 460 strike today. Friday's expiration tomorrow. So kind of like close to 0 GTE. Just filled that right there. All right. And let me grab this in my other account here. All right. Okay, so Microsoft long call here. All right, markets are heavy, so we're going to be a little cautious on this. And Restream is just slowing my stuff down here. So kind of annoying. Come on, I need my data. All right, this is just straight up not working. All good. Morning, Christian. Pinsky's in the house. Dylan Pinsky. Nice swing, brother. You in the claws. I got to get with y'all, man. Golf. The boys got that down. I went mini golfing last night to see if I can compete with you. Can't. I couldn't even get it through the little windmill. Then a 6-year-old was like, "Come on, man, move! You suck!" And he just sent it through the windmill. On mini golf. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Trade. Whoa, what is happening here? Be patient here. I got my eye on Tessie. All right, so unfortunately today is going to be a little annoying, most likely. 5,800, again, that blue gamma node down here. So that's why, I'm taking profits on some of the puts that we got in yesterday, right? That I had mentioned if you snag those for the team. All right, even if we do swipe down to 5,800, which is 33 points away. Happy Gilmore. The culture at Phantoms is pretty cool, man. No stress, man. Chill. Take trading very seriously, of course, but trade the tape. So just remember that 5,800. That's also last week's VWAP in all seriousness as well. Well, not last week's, 2 weeks ago VWAP, that breakaway gap VWAP. All right, so this bar kind of just got put in off the open here. We have to see if this gets reclaimed here, and it could easily, because we get a lot of positive gamma down here. All right, so we'll see. Fang's having a little bit of a bid right now. Google was a monster yesterday. We hit it. I could have made so much more off of it. It's giving us a little setup here today too. The only thing is you have to be a little cautious on it just because of first of all, let's TP some Microsoft here, right? Have it equal to high. We can shave out some here, especially for YouTube here. Want to make sure that give you some coin here for your time here. Google doing this thing. Blues our buys, red our sells. Just got to be a little careful with the bullish exposure on this in markets. So we swiped above the supply zone, liquidity sweep, a weekly high, blew through dailies and weeklies here. There's an unfilled gap here. So as you can see, SPYs are just a little heavy right now. So want to be cautious on bullish exposure, but Google is definitely on the dock here. Apple. Yeah, Mark. Apple puts not a bad play because Apple's been heavy, relatively speaking, to the other Mag 7. Nothing's really popping out at me right now. I want to be a little careful with MSTR. Yeah, we got news in a minute, right? So, I'll be patient. Google trying to work on things here. Just a beautiful move. Beautiful, right? Just nice flow so far on Googs. But if you get long here, you need to fall through a break. So, that could happen, but you gotta be a little cautious on that. Right. You got some fall through already on it. Retesting yesterday's high. If you're in, all right, just pop new high. All right, we got news. So equal to new high. You want to TP something, right? Quadrant number 2, 3, and 2. So make sure TP something there. Tesla gap down. However, so far The percent change off open, it's up the most. I know some Phantoms members caught some Tesla short up here. Beautiful entry. Beautiful entry. Some Phantoms members. I got long day trade up here. We take a profit, take a profit, take a profit aggressively. Some people snag short. So liquidity, if you know, right? So good trade, y'all. Come on, trading view. Google new high, pump it. Pump it. I don't like to chase. Mark Wahlberg, Trump bill got passed. I thought we might get a bump in the markets. Yeah, it's good for like some kind of catalyst, but I've been doing this for so long that I'm just dead inside. There's always something. Just see how everything reacts or responds to it, anyways, regardless. But yeah, definitely noteworthy to make sure. So Google is kind of getting away from me here. I don't want to chase so much. So I definitely might want to wait for a pullback. If you want to just jump in on $1 for the 177.5, you can do so. Or what you can do is copy this here, this code, premium code, bring it back over here. Let's see. This was yesterday. Google on fire. Still going. This is kind of getting away here, but we can see if we can try to get a little bit of a pullback on this. I should already be in TP right now. All right, but don't chase. Be patient. I just threw a limit order in at 170 premium for the 175 strike, but that thing's gone. Yeah, we just gap filled. Pinsky, the future GOAT, the kid gets it. He's bringing up an extremely good point. This is why I didn't want to chase up into this area on the monthly high, close to the March high, gap fill right there. Okay, so you got to, sometimes when you miss a trade, your discipline has to really be sharp and just wait. I wish TradingView was playing ball here. They just get a daily view up here, so it's kind of annoying. So you guys got to be, if you're long Google TP some, it could swipe higher, but you have to be disciplined and not try to chase that right now at that gap fill. So you got to be chill. Meta yesterday was a little sneaky kind of play. I want to see. How. Come on, restream, man. It just messes with I'm not trying to be weird here, but this thing really does mess with I remember Mr. Black was like, man, it really slows down your computer. No excuses. SPX. I'm flat on SPX at the moment. What I'm looking for right now, they're already squeezing out the 330s here. Really not that much above here. I'd like to see a little bit more of a squeeze here, but Tesla long call. I need some juice here. I keep an eye on this area down here on Tesla. I'm on a 60-minute time frame with 325 handle. So this could be kind of like a plan B. Now, this is not closed yet. News is already out. I didn't even check it. I'm just trading the tape anyways. But Tesla's fixing for a long call here. All right, we're trading 37 handle. If I pick up, say, we're at last week's VWAP, which is kind of a little annoying here. But if you pick up, say, like the 345, now, but you have to be careful with this trade. You know, SPY is a little heavy right now. Let me check VIX. Oops. You know, VIX is calming down a little bit here. All right, so if you pick up, say, like a 30 delta here, 345, 330, Tesla. All right, now let's go pull back on us a little bit here. We're at a VWAP. We're at a weekly VWAP. I'll explain that in a moment. Let me just snag. If you want to do like half size here, really briefly, you can lock in some. And I say that, man, Google. Let me see, Tessie. Meta sneaky. All right, now you can put a pullback order in on this as well. Tesla's, it's okay. It's okay, not stellar. But we can maybe put in a pullback order here, like $3 here, to see if you can add on this. All right. But I did snag some on some Tesla there. Not much of a squeeze here today, but they're looking to sell calls right there. So they're trying to build that. Man, Google, March high. Whoo! Google on fire. Man. TP sub if you got some. We're at March's high now. Last month's high March. Or 2 months ago, March high. Some supply. All right, so what I was mentioning here, just in Tesla, last week's view up here, we're a little bit, we were trading below. We're kind of like at it right now, so we would need to kind of. This is yesterday's view up. The blue line, this yellow right there is last week's view up. We were a little bit above below it, so we need you know, obviously Tesla needs to punch higher. We got some small time frame supply just left over from yesterday here, so that's why I was mentioning just be a little careful here. All right, Google definitely taking the baton and running with it. Damn. Option tab. There you go. Con. So con here. 58.60, a little bit of a node there. This really slows down your computer. Microsoft got a little positive COG here. All right, we can TP some Microsoft here. New high. Google, like similarly to yesterday, is the breadwinner. Could have did so much better on Google. All right, TP some Microsoft here. Amazon, okay, it's doing its thing. Nvidia, so the Mag 7 is trying to put in a bid here. We can TP some Tesla. Yeah, Pinsky. My man Pinsky, man, I love that dude. Google, Google don't give up, right? Can't say it. Let's TP some Tesla. Honey Badger. Google don't give up, right? That thing's just going. Let's TP some Tesla here. It's not the strongest setup in the world here. ABC always be closing, right? So let me just peel out a little bit here. Man, Google. I feel embarrassed because yesterday we had a beautiful entry on Google yesterday. We caught that like what 2 minute bar open, 4 minute bar open before the 5 minute bar even closed. I think when the 5 minute bar closed, we're in. So even if you just like left a runner on right now, this thing will be printing. But for the record, Google's been a little wild too, man. I remember one day I was long Google, and stops trailed all that, and then it just dumped. Right, it's right here, right here. Just dumped. It was all good just a week ago, and it just dumped. So it was like, what? Okay, that happened. I chilled out, based, and next day, here we go. We get to see yesterday's long entry here, right? So I nailed that 4 minutes into the open, not even a 5 minute bar close, and right TP. But I'm not bragging here because so much more money left on the bone, and even today, making me look like a fool. Right. But yeah, Google don't give up. Yeah, man. Positive COG continuation yesterday. So this should be an easy trade for me right here today. For us. All right, Microsoft, let's TP some here, yeah? Snag this up, Microsoft. All right, get some Microsoft here. All right. NVIDIA. Microsoft, the mother bar high, make sure you TP. All right, TP means take profit. TP Timmy. Okay. Caught some NVIDIA yesterday. Beautiful TP. I still got a couple runners on those down a little bit here. Today, let's see. Blessing got our back here. She's always blessing us. You can maybe peel out a little bit of Tesla. Again, it's a little heavy, so listen to Blessing. When she speaks, you got to listen to that queen. She knows the deal. Thank you, Blessing. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to peel out a little Tessie here, okay? Send it. Amazon going, Jose. Indeed, sir. I'm not making an excuse, but this restream shit is, oops, did I swear? Slow me down a little bit, but it's all good. Doing it for the gram. Subscribe to my IOF. Where I shake what my mama gave me. Chill. Gex looking like this. Being patient on spies. Lock in some profits. Spies struggling a little bit. We are coming up into all seriousness, 58. 58.60. A little heavy here. There's a little positive gamma note here. Above 70 is a little. There's a little. We searching for pockets of negative gex. I like negative gex. Darn on me yesterday. $5 per contract. How can you turn $5 into 500? Trade options. Multiply that by some contracts. Life is set. I digress. A little bit of a negative. You might want to take a picture of this. We do have a little bit of negative gex. A little bit. Now it's not strong like yesterday. Yesterday was a nice darker kind of darker red, which is why I got so excited. But yeah, we got a little positive gex happening right here. A little bit of tro here and tro below as well. So 58.50 lower negative, slight negative gex. I want to be careful saying that. And then 58.80. I'm sorry, 58.75. A little bit higher negative gex. Right now we're like on a peak right now. All right. And I'm searching for this Tesla squeeze. It's not really happening right now. So shout out to Blessing, making sure that we're taking profit diligently here on that. All right, Microsoft new high. Peel out some here. P&L just bumped. All right, P&L just bumped. TP some. I'm looking at, don't trade your P&L, but I just saw my P&L go whoop, up a little bit more. So I'm going to take a little bit more. Okay. Send it. Full send. TP. Timmy. Nice little gap. Red bar close on last week's VWAP. Close red, gap up. Not still an inside gap, but close above high. Anybody who's short felt a little pain this morning. Squeeze them. Foot on the throat. foot on the throat. Let me stop talking like that before I get canceled from Instagram or something like that. But IDAF. Broadcom. What you doing? Where you going? I traded Broadcom yesterday. It was so bad. Oh, gross. You disgust me. Stopped out right there. What? Bad. Journal. Swear words. Rookie mistake. After 15 years. What is wrong with you? Looking decent right now. VIX on lows. Thank you, Nick Claus. Send it. That boy can golf. Marry me. Broadcom relative strength. I mean, I really don't see nothing really stopping this thing here. SPY's trying to break. Man, Google new high. Holy smokes. Broadcom doing this thing. Why am I not long Google? That is a crime. Fired. Test a new high. TP Google if you're in. I'm gonna grab some Tessie here. Broadcom had some sauce today too. Blessing was in your hood last night? What? She's in Charlotte? Charlotte. No way. Google new high. Make sure you TP some Tessie. Shipping off to Boston. I'm over here working hard for this money, and Google is just like giving it away for free. What is in that Gemini AI? Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I need your boots. I need your clothes. And I need your motorcycle now. I need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle. I'll be back. Guy puts cigar out on chest. No failings. Robot. Mark Wahlberg. I can't say that, Blessing. I can't say that on online. I can't say that, but you know how it goes. Oh, anybody snagged gold? Mark Wahlberg got it. Mark Wahlberg. Dippity dip into the 80s. Bouncy. Make sure you TP into some here, right? In all seriousness. So make sure you reduce some here. All right, Microsoft, Tesla. Google just put in another 300% gain. Unbelievable. Why so serious? Why so serious? It's just time and price digits on a screen. Planning my next attack on SPX. Always lurking on it. Oof, how quickly things can change. VIX, what are you doing? Cumulative tick, come tick, down. Let's see, a little negative gex here. I gotta gold to get TP on futures on that bounce from the 80 handle. Quick 10-point snag. We're above daily view up on SPX and SPY, so I want to be extremely careful with this. What I was going to check real briefly is because we do got FANG on an uptick here, right? Mega cap. So we got like Tesla, Google, Avgo, Broadcom, Microsoft, Amazon, Qs, right? So getting a put is tough right now. We got this guy named Money Mike who loved dearly in Phantoms. And I know he's like trying to get long. I wish we have money to push it up for him, but it's still for intraday. It's hard for me to. We did Globex trap a little bit there above. I'd want to see VIX kind of, if this market was really going to dump out a little bit, you want to see VIX kind of up a bit more. But we're above daily view up on that. So you might want to just, at least at a minimum, begin to, definitely cut down some size here. We are testing some view up on a couple of FANG stocks in all seriousness. On flat SPX at the moment. How's the SPX equally weighted? SPX EW. So interesting. What's holding up the market today is actually Mag 7. Interesting. So you see how the SPX is actually holding some bids, where the SPX equally weighted, SPX EW equally weighted, kind of like equally weighted all stocks, right? It's just an index equally weighted. So this market's just be careful today, because if the Mag 7, if the Googles and the Broadcoms and the Nvidias and the Microsofts of the world here give out, there's nothing supporting this right now. Okay, in English. So stay strapped. It's just Mag. It's just Mag 7. Niklaus just pointed out PLTR too. Future go, already a go. Kid gets it. Teach him how to trade the right way. Teach him how to golf the right way. Match made in heaven. I'm going mini golfing again tonight. Inside day on this. Blue, on a day like this morning, opening up positive Gekno, would you be looking to sub credit if you weren't on YouTube? Yeah, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I just don't feel like deploying capital. As of late, I've been busy with real estate BS, not BS, but real estate stuff where I just don't want to deploy. Right, so that's dying down a little bit more now as things get settled. But yeah, so far what I'm seeing today is, obviously keep a definite eye on VIX, right? So VIX is down, right? We'll see how that unravels now. Remember, all day yesterday, we kind of just like grind it up until boom, slam, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen again today, but what I'm seeing today, I will say, is that see how SPX, as mentioned, kind of holding up a little bit green bar bid, nothing too crazy here, right? But if I go to the equally weighted, right, that's down. So that's telling me, is that this market on SPX right now, SPYs, Qs, etc., is just being held up by the Mag 7. So a day like today, watch out, because you map out this Mag 7, because if Microsoft starts to give out its VWAP and Nvidia starts to get out its VWAP, Amazon, Tesla, Google, Meta starts to give out on its VWAP, Apple's just heavy spend. Watch out. Right now, the thing here is that in regard to that, even with that, it's kind of lightening up a little bit here. We do have a little bit of a tro down in here at 58.20 on SPX. So again, today I would keep a really close eye on the Mag 7. You always do, but that's the only thing right now. That's holding it up, right? So like if we rally up, right? And here's the thing: if I sell credit, look at there's a little bit of a negative GEX because we could rally up, of course, right? So like if we get up here, there's a little bit of a negative GEX tro up here as well, right? So if I look at the colors, right, there's more depth in blue down here. All right, so I see a little bit more supportive. Okay, but this is being held up by Mag 7. If I look higher, we have a couple of gamma nodes here and here, but it's a little bit lighter up here. So we could if we do go up, we could go. Right. So throw a but it has to prove to me. right? So just threw a high on day so far VWAP on that, and that could be the kind of line in the sand to pull. I want to see it close back above here. Now, if you front side and on VWAP, you could do that. But you'd be a little careful with that. This market's only being held up by Mag 7. Oh, negative X is so much better than positive. What does that mean? What does that mean? And I got some spot puts for the swing still, man. I didn't let go of all of them. So, I'm coming in here kind of already with some puts that I told you all about. So I could be a bit more patient here. We could be a bit more patient. Microsoft added its VWAP. Pulling back on me here. Dude, you put a limit order in Google, just get market. I literally said that this morning. I cancel these here. VWAP breakdown a bit here. VIX creeping. Still didn't snap anything significant yet on its buys. See, if you wanted to add to Microsoft, this would be a time to do it now on its said VWAP. I'd be a little careful with exposure here. All right, so I'm gonna have to cut my runners soon on Microsoft. This spot's trying to break down a little bit here. Try to lean on this a bit. Lean on me. Try to attack this negative gex here, 5820's handle. Here's kind of what I'll say sometimes, like, wait for the close. 30-minute bar close in 5 minutes. Tesla holding bids on VWAP. meteorologist. The winds are coming in from the northeast at 7 knots. Shut up. Just tell me what to do. Bring an umbrella. Tesla. Oh, I'm patient right now. Got some green screen. Got some money on puts this week. Just be patient. I'm still trying to work for y'all here. Microsoft breaking down. Let me cut that runner. Cut the runner. I'm out. I'm going to be flat in Microsoft here. All right. Can always, potentially re-engage this, but especially for YouTube, I want to make sure just being a little safe. I don't want y'all to give back profits. All right, this potentially could make me look like a fool. This is not TP. This is flat out. But ABC always be closing, so I just want to protect y'all gains here. All right, now this didn't break any structure or anything like that, in regard to the small time frame, right? I mean, so that could potentially make me look like a fool. In all fairness. But I don't know how much more longer I'm going to be here with y'all on the tube here. All right, it could be a better re-engagement entry, even though it would be below daily VWAP. It'd be at this week's VWAP right here at the 456 half handle here. Okay. So again, I don't want to give back, right? So for you folks here, now I don't want, I take this very seriously, right? Make a joke here, have a little fun here and there, right? Very serious stuff, and so I don't want to have y'all give back, some profits on this morning, right? And so get flat, there could be another re-engagement here, but this, if we get down here, we get a positive COG, we'll be below daily view up. We'll get this week's view up right in here, like rebalance kind of in the middle. All right, Tesla going. All right, let me, I'm still in it. Let me, blessing would be like, hey, TP. Yeah, also, good job, Pinkski, right? Yeah, Dylan. I call him Pinkski. It's a long story for you two folks. He's the man. And also, yeah, his spy's kind of heavy, right? That's a Tesla TP, okay? Again, just reducing exposure. But yeah, because of spies, it is just heavy, right? So again, I'm trading what I see. I'm just giving y'all what I see over many years and many moons of experience, good and bad. All right, clean up the bad, maximize the good. No perfection. Patience, discipline, execute, and relax. Relax. Instagram is whack. people left. Social media is a funny place. People are wild. A zoo. The earth is one big zoo, man. And I'm just speculating it. Give me tickets to the shit show of Earth. Here for a good time, not a long time. Anthony Turner, ES, back within opening day's range. I make some money taking long since the global session. I've been looking for a pullback re-entry. Should I have flipped short since back below it? Man, right now it's like chill right now, brother. Anthony, in all seriousness. TP some Tesla here. Might be able to get a little bit of a pop. So prepare your order. Prepare your order. Prepare your order to full send. Will the beast in it? He's still here. He ain't leaving. He ain't leaving. You gotta call the National Guard for him to leave. TP Tesla. Anthony Turner, like I'm flat SPX right now at the moment. So we got Microsoft breaking down a little bit, right? So this whole Mag Sev. What's the VIX doing? So I'm still trying to figure out myself, brother. Right? Still trying to figure it out myself, brother. You gotta know when to walk away. Know when to run. You better count your money before I take that shit. TP Tesla, let's go. Full send. Golf ball send. Dink. This doesn't even have a squeeze today, really. The 330s are getting squeezed, pinched right now. Sold calls. All right, I'm getting bored. But yeah, Anthony Turner, brother, we're like low back cycle, back slow. We're like in the middle on VWAP, so. Kenny Rogers, you got to Kenny Rogers it. You got to know when to not do nothing, right? So don't get itchy. Don't get itchy. By itchy, I mean don't get annoyed with range and just say, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna get long because whatever, right? Oh, I'm just gonna get short because like whatever, like a 50-50 play. No, don't do that. Right? Go search for something that's giving you a little bit more edge, and be patient. Be patient on indexes, right? Nazi, right? We're working. we're working we're working some tickers, right? Now I realize not everybody trades options, right, and I get that, right? But you're seeing the process. This is real stuff. Having a little fun here, right? Um, as you should, as you should. When I was on Wall Street, man, guys would just make all this money, and it's just like you think like it's like some Of course, we take it extremely serious, right? We train hard, right? And so like when the bell rings, man, we're just executing, right? So you might have to miss the first initial like pump move, right? And not for nothing, but even it's kind of crazy. I'm not trying to toot my horn here, but this is on recording, but I literally talked about how this is kind of freaky. I just got goosebumps here, but 21,330 is exactly the line that I put on right on the board where you can literally for a liquidity sweep. And what's the high today on Nasdaq? 21,330.50, 2 ticks, boink. Kind of creepy, right? But again, this is I'm not tooting my horn at all because I do. Why am I not long Google? Right? I'll talk bad about myself before I say anything good about myself. Right? I'm going to break down now a little bit here. We'll go add its VWAP. Competition and fun, yeah. I'm extremely competitive. Extremely competitive. Win or lose, all good. Shake your hand. All right, enough of that. Make sure you TP in Tesla. Let's see if we can engage this here on SPYs. US 30 CFDs. Come on, man. Trade futures, Abdul. Google backing off its VWAP. Slap down. $30-minute bar close, previous. And some sales will do. Yep, indeed. I got some long puts on SPYs. 30-minute bar. What's the 1 hour bar close look like? Doji. We could try to work on this here. The Mag 7 hasn't quite given out just yet. Okay, Abdul. I got you, brother. Indeed. So you have to trade the CFD. If you want to try to get some light exposure on SPYs, I'm a little bit reluctant. I got to be patient with it. The Mag 7 still doing its thing. even Microsoft might even be a nice little re-engage here. Broadcom fixing for a potential base break. Bar by bar. Broadcom's worth a shot here for a potential pop. It's fixing to potentially want to go. Could be low risk. What are you trading? 32 handle. Attack and strength. If you want to pick up the 232 half here, going for 250. If you want to get a 34 delta, give or take, you pick up the 235 handle strike. A little bit lower delta if you, because spies are heavy, etc. Let me see what this would look like for risk parameter. And again, SPY's just struggling on its VWAP. Why did this thing not copy? Why can't I get this? Why can't I get this premium chart up? What is happening here? There we go. So if you want to try to get an AVGO right now, you potentially could. It's not the greatest setup in the world here. It could pull back to VWAP, right? So, what you could do is, and again, this would be a limit order, and it might not fill or it could just pop. But if you wanted to get in right now, maybe a little light size, and then maybe putting a limit order down in here, maybe for like $1.10. This would be like a VWAP test on the regular price action. Okay, so like for example, if you wanted to put in a limit order at like $1.10, give or take, right? And you can just position size to just have this be total premium risk, right? Or I would say you could put a stop loss low one day on the premium and just say, okay, put a stop loss at like 55 cents, and if this thing goes, it goes. If not, just get stopped out by 80 cents, what have you. All right. So it's a $1.32-ish right now. So even if you look, I'll just show you here. I'll get in here, right? And then I'll even put like a limit order down in here too to potentially add here at $1. Spies pissing you off. Yeah, spies are annoying right now, right? It's just, it's okay. Just, Believe me, SPX is my favorite thing to trade on the planet. So much so that like sometimes I'm just always on it. That I miss some other things there, but sometimes, but um, you just got to be patient. That's part of trading is learning and training yourself personally to be patient. We're talking about competition and sports and things like that. It's there's pushback, right? So it's like, oh man, team's good, whatever, but the lanes are not open. The shots, basketball, hockey is going on right now, right? So it's like the shots, Boston lost, Jason Tatum, man, feel bad for dude, man. But you train, and you have your setup, and sometimes the shots are not open. It's pushback, right? So you just gotta stick to the plan, stick to the fundamentals, right? And just be patient. That's how it goes. Right. And so you got to learn. You got to go through a couple of things to learn how to sit on your hands. I know we're struggling here on VWAP, right? So that's the thing. So I just deployed. Why is this thing not working today, huh? Come on. Come on. Give me some. Now, if we're doing what we did yesterday with Want to, this is not nowhere near as great as yesterday's. But again, that 58.20 is a little bit of a negative dex here, right? So there could be a little sweep. Google breaking down a bit. Just deployed some light risk on AVGO. Tesla equal to high, so you want to take some profit on that. Spies. So it's like I'm itching to get in SPX, right? But control yourself. Relax. Relax. Come do it. Oh, spies are a nightmare right now. I get it. So I'm like well over my time of what I was usually doing on the tube here. Tesla has a little baby squeeze here, but nothing too dramatic. So I'm not going to overhype that. I need more coffee. Okay. I don't know. Y'all still want to hang out on the tube, or what? Talk to me. Tell me how you really feel. Don't tell me what you want. Don't tell me how you really feel. Don't tell me what I want to hear. Doji day so far. 2 hours in. Yeah, once we take break, it's gonna pop, right? Gex is not sexy today. Niklaus, full send. What's going on, Pari? What's going on? What's going on? I see you. Oh my God. All right, let's take a break. I would usually end this right now, but I'm having some fun with y'all a little bit here. A little bit of green screen here, nothing too crazy. Coffee break, yeah. Real quick skis. Let's do it. All right, I'll leave spies up, or I should say SPX, because I'll leave SPX here. With a 30-minute here on the left. Two-minute on the right, and I'll leave options depth up. Previous bar close. Here, NASDAQ did Globex trap. So, all right, let's get a break in real quick. This thing might, this thing could pop down a little bit here. All right, because what I'm seeing is a lot of wicks here off daily VWAP, but we need some juice. All right, but it's just parked right here on 2 weeks ago VWAP here in that level there on the monthlies too. So, I guess if you want to try to sneak into some puts real quick, because I know once we take break, always when I get off the mic, man, it moves. It's crazy. It's kind of creepy. So if you want to snag into these real quick, I won't do SPX right now just because of what I'm seeing in the market with FANG kind of holding. But Microsoft broke down, right? FANG's breaking down a little bit here, right? So if you wanted to snag these, these 5 puts here. All right, grab this from other account. All right. Relax, come do it. Anymore, come do it. I need to take a piss. All right, put limit orders to TP down here. TP Timmy. Okay. You can already TP a little bit here for a little quick scalp if you want to. There we go. Paid for a little coffee here. Oh man, I gotta piss. I gotta fucking piss. Oh, can't swear online. Can't swear. All right, put limit orders up on this premium. Okay. So already did a little TP Timmy action here. Bearish, sell short, buy to cover. TP Timmy. Whoa. What is happening? Stop. Immediately. And that's my first engagement with the S&P complex. What strike? Damn, bro. Already TPing on this bad boy. 581 strike. Yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit more off here too. Again, this is not SPX money here, but this market's just so far rangy. It's still early, right? I'm gonna cut Tesla. That thing was awesome. Well, calm down. It wasn't awesome, but I'm gonna be flat Tesla here. All right, take a profit on those SPYs. All right, Tesla runners not running, no legs. All right, it's on its VWAP, which is kind of annoying. I hate to cut it at VWAP. I guess I can give it a little space. You know, it's acting right. It's acting proper. Right? Now that I look at the chart. It's acting right. It's acting okay. Did AVGO fill more down here? That's why I said you gotta take those profits on spots quick, right? So it's just the type of day. Where's AVGO? Where are you? Did that fill? Indeed. Let me snag this my other account real quick too. I didn't put the limit order over here. Blue, you think we'll fill the gap today? I don't know. I'm just trading the tape. What gap though, Abdul? Are you talking about SPYs? Which gap? Help you clarify. What a chop sesh so far. Man, I gotta piss. My bladder is hating me right now. This is not good. You gotta take care of your body. Oh, on NASDAQ from last week or so? I mean, never say never. 5 fundamental truths of trading, right? Mark Douglas. Anything can happen, number one, right? But that's from last week, gap filled. No, probably no. Trump would have to get on his Twitter fingers and probably say some crazy stuff for that. You know, I mean, anything could happen, yeah. But I mean, so last week's gap all the way down here? No, I doubt that. Especially with all this positive gamma all the way down here on SPX. All right, AVGO, let's TP some, y'all. Yeah. Send it, full send. TP Timmy it. Okay. Okay. You see those spies push back? Birds, what's up? Come on, AVGO, pump ski for us. Give it to us, give it to us, give it, 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 go, 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 go. Bored. What are we gonna do with these spies, man? Back on VWAP. Oh. Back on VWAP. We were supposed to take a break like long times ago. All right, 30-minute bar close, all seriousness. Nice entry on Avgo. See if we can get a pump ski here. The vid. NVIDIA. Might have to cut these spies on the runners. That's why, TP. The mag still holding some bids. And that's breaking daily VWAP. We're respecting weekly VWAP here and breaking high on day VWAP. Cut those spies. Just get out. Cut them. So TP, and then we have to cut. All right, cut them. If it realigns back up, right, or bearish, we can get back in. But that 30-minute bar close, bit of a hammer. All right, that's a cut. Again, a little choppy here, right? So, in TP, right, and then just out. And again, I'm still flat SPX, just waiting to see my, I want to see some development. It looking like it might want to do a little something here. Broadcom, let's go. So cut it. Keep it moving and grooving. Learn how to cut. All right, Broadcom, a little bit of a breakout here. Let's TP that. Get some. TP, Timmy. Man, I got to piss. Too much fun. This is the greatest business in the world. Prove me wrong. Well, let me get my fills first before I talk shit. Mass Pfizer, Chop Fest. All right, now in all seriousness, in regard to AVGO, could we now trail our stop? Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. Talk to me. So I'm just not talking to birds out my window. National Geographic. All right, so you begin to trail on Avgo. On this account, I'm all out. This smaller account, and the other account, I guess some runners, right? I'm even still in some Tesla. That's still doing okay. What's VIX doing? Let me grab some coffee. Let me grab some coffee real quick. I gotta refill my water bottle too. Apple, Amazon holding bids. Positive gamma environment is so annoying. All right, enough of that. For what it's worth, I'll leave SPX up. Last bar closed 30-minute hammer here off yesterday's little sweep. So it could go in a little bit of a pump, but again, I'm not 100% like sold on that, if you will. All right, that said, let me do this, right? I've been saying this. I got to piss. So I'll leave the OD options depth up here. What's the best way to put it? Like right there? I don't know. Options depth's like a little weird when you minimize the screen. It's a little weird. It's so annoying. I love it. No complaints. I love this thing. Okay, what are you doing? All right, I'll leave SPX up. This is option depth in the back, right? So if you know how to read this, great. But 30-minute time frame on SPX here, 2-minute here. All right, make sure you're always looking at the monthly, weekly, daily as well, right? And current price over here. So again, we got positive gamma here, range. I still got some Tesla. I got some AVGO. Amazon looking okay. Apple holding some bids. So this thing might want to pop again. The Mag 7 is kind of holding this up. Equally weighted SPX is. Let's see if that's still heavy. So it's crazy. Like the top two here, Tesla and AVGO. That's kind of like what I'm ironed out having right now in my account. Kind of creepy, but not really. Because I only halfway kind of know what I'm talking about here, right? Only a little bit. I kind of think I know what I'm talking about here. Only a little. So equally weighted, still heavy. So it's still just mag. It's just mag 7 here. That's why I just got to get crazy flip long on spies on that, right? So I just want to be patient. All right, let me take a break. It'll be real quick. If you stay close, it's 11:12 Eastern. I don't know. I guess take like 7 minutes, give or take. Maybe 11:20. Let's just make it simple. I usually would just end this right now. I can see a lot of people dropping out. I get it. Netflix short. Be careful with that. Be careful. That's one of the most raging bullish tickers on the planet at the moment. So there's going to be some kind of mean reversion, I'm sure, coming, but just be careful of shorting all-time highs. That is something that you want to be extremely careful with. I would suggest to let it be outside of 2 standard deviations on the monthly, weekly, daily. Because like a lot of people will, oh man, this thing's up, it has to come down, right? And so, I remember somebody was trying to short it like over here or something like that. I wasn't trying to be weird or anything like that. I'm like, be careful with that because this thing just popped, right? So we are starting to get outside. Even here's the note. Here's a note from previous sessions, right? We are starting to get outside of 2 standard deviations for the monthly and the weekly and the daily. So, you'd want to, with all-time highs, you got to be careful. So you got to make sure that it's stretched. So you're just leaning against the abyss. It's just in the abyss, right? There's no objective level of supply above. So you got to be careful with that. Now, yes, indeed, there's going to be some kind of mean reversion, I'm sure, like just like over here. Okay, but you got to be extremely careful because this thing could just spike you out, right? And knock you out and then mean revert. So I would suggest a equal to or new high outside of 2 standard deviations leg into it for a potential mean reversion lower. All right, but still, that's still a tough trade. That's a tough trade. That's a hard one. All right, in regard to that setup. All right, so I'm just, you don't have to make trading complicated. I'm not here to be smart. Believe me, I'm dumb. Kiss me, kiss. Keep it simple because I'm stupid, right? So I'm looking for, why complicate, right? I'm looking for nice, easy setups that are, follow through, et cetera, et cetera. All right, enough of the TED talk. Let's take a break. We'll come back 11:20. Fair enough. All right. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing. Well, let's take a break first. We'll see. All right, I'll put that in chat. Okay, back. Mic check. Instagram whack. YouTube should be good to go. YouTube. All right. A whole lot of nothing burger here so far. Still, so I'll be patient. And we're just checking VIX. AVGO looking good. A little sneaky. Anybody add to this real quick on this? AVGO new high. Tesla positive COG off VWAP. Mic check. Y'all can hear, right? Just making sure. There's a delay here too. Let's take some profit on AVGO, okay? Okay, lock some in here on AVGO ticker. If you can hear me. So delayed. For you folks on YouTube, it's obviously it's not like this in the live trade room, but I'm streaming through software multiple, so it definitely slows. There's a delay, so I know it's kind of annoying. Tesla, I might even just add to Tesla. I'm still in it, but we can roll our delta. Let me lock some of this in here. They're printing fives right now, or thereabouts. So again, there was really no reason for me to get out of this. Of course, I don't have my full size on right now because we've been TPing on this, taking profit. Okay. Remember? So check this out. I stopped myself. I almost got out of my runners right here. Then I said, "What? Why? Why would I do that? It's acting right." Okay. So right. So if I did that, I would have been like, "Oh, come on, man! Why did you cut it right there?" Right. So boom. Relax. Right. So follow your rules and your plan. All right. Yesterday I messed up AVGO. I stopped out of it, breaking the rule, and no need to do that. Come on, man. Right. So Tesla's been, it's not a monster day. All right, we have daily VWAP in TP, right? And I almost cut right there, but it's like quadrant 3 and 2, right? Why? Why are you gonna cut right there, right? So here we go. Boom. Stop myself. Follow my rules, right? Why am I gonna cut right at VWAP at a demand zone and a higher high, higher low sequence here, pullback, and then now just TP. Right? So rules. Okay. But if you're looking at your P&L, like, oh man, Tesla's up, but like now it's like down a little bit, or I'm at like break even, and you start to you get crazy, and then you do, and then you get emotional, and you do something that you probably shouldn't have, and then two hours go by or 2 days go by, and then you're like, what did I do that for? Everything was fine after you follow the right procedure. AVGO, let's TP some more here too. I got some decent size on AVGO because of how it's fairly cheap. So let's grab this $2 here. And is my wife SPX waking up? She's not mad at me anymore. Fix. Rashab, my man. I see you, brother. Awesome. I see you in the chat. And is a phantom and respect, brother. Respect what you do for the community. Traders, real traders helping out real traders or aspiring other real traders. That's what it's about. Real deal. Respect. To the goat. I'm all right. I'm okay. I've seen better traders than myself. Well, I appreciate that. I'm all right. Blessing, blessing. Let me go ask her. Man, I went. Man, yesterday was a little bit more fun just because of the fact that we had a negative Gex pocket, hot pocket. We have no hot pockets today. I mean, well, actually, there's a little hot pocket up here. It's not as hot as yesterday. But look at this hot pocket. Hot pocket. Loading. Elevator music. Okay, I guess not. I guess I'll let that load. I was trying to show you a nice hot pocket. Almost lunchtime, not yet. Oh, credit spreads are winning right now. Come on. Little Tesla sneaky bar here. Let's see, in all seriousness, let's see if this thing is building up for. Now, I know some Phantoms members are short Tesla, which is awesome up here. I mentioned this earlier in the morning. Shout out to Santo, who is a amazing dude and Phantom member. I was day trading, taking profit up here aggressively because of that supply level up here, and some Phantoms got short. So we talk a lot about liquidity and how buy to enters need to exit and then sell short to enter. Buy to enter need to sell to close, okay, and then sell short to enters, right? But now we pulled back, and this is a Tesla's going to be interesting here because now we swiped yesterday's low real quick. I always talk about those daily lows, swoop, swipe. So is there people who sold short Tesla, at or on the open 246, 5 to 10 minutes into the open when this was once a red bar. Y'all see that? Right, I got a daily on the left and I got a 2 minute on the right. Okay, we got a wide range bar off open. This is today's open, right? Daily view up here, and so this was a red bar, right? And this was once a red solid bar here, right? People were trying to slam short on Tesla here, right, off the open, right? And this is why I always stress: wait for the candle to close, right? And then sweep, gotcha, positive COG, fakey, breaky up, okay? And this is one of the reasons why, right? It has nothing to do with Elon and political stuff. This is business, baby, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I like Tesla on this little right here. Waited, pull back here, hammer bar, positive COG, in long, right? Getting squeezed out. Now that's for the day trade here today, right? Now SPYs are still heavy, right? But what I was going to say is well, I'm going to look at what's called GAC spot here. and I wanted to see if there's a potential for another squeeze for the end of the week. Okay, so this is GetSpot. Welcome to my GetSpot robot. Orange is calls. Y'all getting some good stuff on YouTube here today. I don't know. I guess I'm in a good mood. Got calls. Calls are in orange. Puts are in purple. If you're not colorblind, if you are, damn. Well, so whatever you see, this one is orange. This one is purple. So everything to the left of the axis is sold, right? So this is sold call. This is sold call. Sold put. Sold put. Everything to the right of this axis, okay, is bought. So this is bought calls. Bought calls. Bought puts. Bought puts. Right. So one of the things that I like to look for is retail traders being wrong. Unfortunately, right? I mean, this is the way it works, right? Retail traders, right? So this is all retail perspective, right? Customer perspective from GetSpot. And so one of the things I'm looking for, just to get to the point here, is that if you see this 345 strike on Tesla, I'm on Tesla. This is for this week's expiration. There is a sold call wall right here. Now, a sold call is bearish, meaning obligation to sell or sell short. Okay, obligation to sell or sell short. I can even pop open real quick. I'm giving y'all some stuff here. Free. I'm gonna throw in a glow stick for free. So sold call. Calls on left, puts on right. Right, you can buy calls, buy puts, sell puts. Sold call is an obligation to sell, which is bearish, 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 bearish. Okay, so these yellow to the left axis are sold calls 345 strike. Now, if you're bearish, you want the stock price to go down. Okay, now if the stock price goes up, right, then you're on the wrong side. And a sold call, okay, is is going to be wrong in the event that we go up. And if you sell short and you want the stock to go down, but the stock is going up, what do you have to do to get out? Well, you have to buy to cover, right? Does that make sense? So kind of what I'm looking at is, or trying to figure out is live right now, is to see if Tesla has a potential to what's called a squeeze. Okay, squeeze above this sold call wall. Okay, so there's a bunch of short calls here. Okay, at 345. Okay, we're trading rounding up 343. Okay, right now 343. Okay, if we do punch a bit here, okay, Tesla could go on a bit more of what's called a short squeeze. Okay, and squeeze them out. Okay, and there's something called convexity, right? Bought convexity, or I should say, convexity is movement, right? So if you buy options, you have what's called long gamma or long convexity, right? Meaning you want options to move, or price action to move. If you buy a call, you want it to go up, of course. If you buy a put, you want the stock to go down, of course. That's what's called long convexity. I want movement, okay? However, when you sell options, your negative gamma, which is the opposite of convexity, which would be your negative convexity, where you don't want movement because, movement is kind of not great, right? Well, I shouldn't say that. Movement against you is not great. Movement in your favor, right? In this particular case, sold calls. If this moves down, that's still good, right? But also, if this sold calls, if this does not move at all and just goes sideways for the rest of the day, well, these sold calls are still winning because it's something called theta decay. Yeah, theta decay, right? Theta. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too in the weeds here, but teaching mode right now. But we talk about Greeks and things like that, but theta decay is good for an option seller. It's not good for an options buyer. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is, in the event that Tesla, and this is, by the way, this is this week's expiration 5/23, which is today's, of course, Thursday, tomorrow being Friday the 23rd. So this is very short-term expiration. Now, here's the thing: like, a lot of folks like, if I buy an option that's expiring today or tomorrow, in Tesla you can't buy one today that doesn't have 0 DTE, but tomorrow's tomorrow, right? Tomorrow will be 0 DTE for Tesla. All that theta decay is going to be a problem, right? But yeah, indeed, because the option's going to expire and theta is going against you if you buy the option. However, what happens around the expiration date is the Greeks get super sensitive, right? So if you do get a punch, okay, what happens is the curves, the curves, the delta, the gamma curves, right, and even the vega curves, okay, they get very sensitive. So let me see if I can help you. Well, they get super intense, if you will, or sensitive. Okay, meaning that even if you have a 0 DTE and you get a move up, that delta and gamma move or push is going to outweigh or should outweigh the d theta decay. Okay, so I just kind of went on a little TED talk there and side little quest. So what does this mean? So if I want to potentially attack that, what strike was that? 3, 4, 5. Right now, I'm already long Tesla calls, and we've already been doing pretty decently on them. And if you look at it, we're already long the 345, right? 345 strike. Okay, so I'm still in this, been TPing, but what I'm kind of looking to do, maybe, SPYs is still heavy right now. Apple's holding some bids, ironically. If Tesla does go, what we can do is we can potentially set up a squeeze on this. Now, 345 is what, like right here. All right, so we're pulling back a little bit, which is okay. So one of the things that we could potentially do for this setup, now, again, we're not closed yet on this, right? So we're still kind of within yesterday's range. But this bar is looking decent. Oh, thank you for that, Joe Frank on YouTube. Stay strapped today after lunch, 1 p.m., 10-year Treasury auction. Yeah, yesterday, once that Treasury auction came out. By the way, I cut those TLTs. Get out. Get out. But let me see, 345 strike. If we pull back to VWAP today, it's not really a massive squeeze. I typically like it to be a bit more intense. This is the gamma wall here. It's not really intense, but these 335s are already getting squeezed out. All right, so if you're long Tesla, we just took money from these 335 sold calls here. So, right, so damn sweep, right? So this is sold gamma walls. This is gamma. When you sell options, it's negative gamma. When you buy options, it's positive gamma. So anything to the left of this, now this is not just puts, this is just gamma. This is gamma, 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 gamma. So anything to the left is sold gamma. Okay, so there's sold gamma right here. And you can see, man, right, you see that big push right there? You see that big push? That's basically people that are short being bearish, okay? And then, no, I'm wrong, no! Why is Tesla going up, right? Why is Tesla going up? No, more wrong, right? So as you can see, they're kind of bailing on this a little bit here. I'd want to see this a bit more bigger here. So, get a little excited, but not too excited because it's not super, super, super intense. All right. But I'm looking at SPX right now, and she's talking to me. So what I was going to do on Tesla is roll. You could potentially remain in those. I guess let me just finish Tesla up real quick. Or if we pull back to VWAP, you got maybe like tomorrow's expiration. You can just either add to the 345 potentially, or you can maybe get a deeper out of the money 347 handle for 355. But not in yet. Wait till this thing pulls back to VWAP potentially, which we're slightly getting right now. And so therefore, if we pull back, this is the long call premium chart. So you can potentially maybe get the 347 half strike here, and just put limit order, maybe 250, right? 260, 270. Obviously, we need to squeeze higher, right? So here, I'll just throw in the limit here. Let me put it over in the other my execution matrix here. AVGO died down. Hopefully, I took profit. All right, I got my stop loss break even. Okay. Where am I putting Tesla? Pick a spot, man. I'll throw a 265 limit in here. Again, it's not the greatest squeeze in the world. This is recorded on YouTube, so you can always go back and check. Okay, what I mentioned there. But that pullback order there is essentially like if we pull back into this area here, and that'll be tomorrow's expiration. All right, still in what we got in here today. Obviously my size has dropped down, TP, TP, TP. But that could be another little re-engagement. All right, again, too, we have to see, it's only, 11:42, right? So, we still have roughly, half the day remaining today? Oh, it finally came up. Look at it. Yeah, this was the negative GEX yesterday. The hot pocket right there. Woo. So we were eyeing this all day yesterday. And so the reason why I bring this up is, we had a nice little red negative GEX below that level. So I even have the notes from yesterday. Right, this is that hot pocket of negative GEX. So I'm not saying we knew that market was going to drop that way, how fast it did, but if you know what you're doing here and you understand GEX and things like that, shout out to the open options depth guys. Man, we attacked that. Montu member, man, nailed it. I mean, oh my God, nailed it. Too good, almost too good, right? Anyways, but today, almost the complete opposite. Positive gamma everywhere. VIX. Advanced line is improving. Valdi is still lower. VIX at or around lows. So this is probably not the greatest day to stay on stream like this. Apple holding bids, but Apple has been one of the most weakest Mag 7 for the past, I say, month. But Apple's still legit. Let's see. SPX is trying to absorb this here. No, those are outside birds. I don't have birds. No pets for me. I'm animal enough. All right. Annoying, but what inside day? I want to be a little careful with SPX, but try to ride some spies here. Where's futures at the SPs? Wow. Just one of those days that a trader goes through. And if you got to think this hard about it, it's typically not good. I don't like to think. I like to react. So if you're like, typically not great. You want your setups to just be like, boom, 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 boom. I think I'm going to end this, folks, yeah? You know, if you're working this hard, it should just, like, no. Setups are, when it's good, right? So, last night I'm like, I'm going to see if I could do some things for YouTube. But hey, we got some things. We got some good stuff. I mean, hey, man, we got green screen. Hopefully y'all did good. But just trade safe right now. Very calm right now. All right, but if you want to learn a little bit more about this, what have you, we already have some goats in here. But Trade Phantoms, whether you like it or you don't, I don't care. I'm still going to be ripping tape with the team. The team's going to be ripping tape. Real deal stuff. TradePhantoms.com. Do due diligence there. What's today? Thursday. It's 22nd. Oh, today. 7 p.m. Eastern. Name, email. Pretty simple, right? Register. Great. Get sent the link. I think Mr. Green is hosting this one this week where he'll go over what Phantom's all about. Y'all can read that. I can't even read. I can read tape. But yeah, everything. Stocks, futures, forex, options, long-term, short-term, live trading, as you can see, whether you're just starting out with a small account, whether you're in a retirement area in your life and you're managing multi-millions. Come one, come all. If you don't like it, cool, all good, man. We're not for everybody, and everybody's not for us, and that's cool. Other than that, I'll check some of y'all. Today's what, Thunder Thursday, right? So I'll check some of y'all Phantoms later. We have 2 classes later today. Keep my eye on the market here today, but just managing some stuff. And 1 o'clock, we got the auction for bonds. So that kind of rocked the ship a little bit yesterday. So the ship, no, right? I didn't swear there for Instagram or whatever. But cool. I'll see some of y'all later. God bless. Take care. Trade safe. Don't give back any profits that you made this morning. Okay. Today was a grind. Google did its thing, right? Today's a grind. So keep your profits, protect your profits. All right. There's going to be days where there's going to be so many setups you can't even catch them all, right? So stay focused, right? Keep your profits. God bless. Take care. Blue out.